woodlands of Long Pond, Pennsylvania are well known for many things. Scenic views, a very, very interesting perspective into the nature of the United States, and of course, when this track comes alive, the Pocono Raceway can give thrills night after night, and this will be no different. The Tricky Triangle 200 after a week off, of course, Wednesday to Wednesday, back from Milwaukee up to the Northeast, and the championship hunt continues in the second half of the FORL Cup Series season. Season 3 has been on the move very well so far, and going to one of NASCAR's biggest tracks, it's going to be another big showdown with 9 minutes and 19 seconds remaining on the qualifying clock. Going to be open qualifying for this race as opposed to a majority of the season, giving these drivers a chance to use the draft to make up some time in their solo laps, and it's going to give us a very interesting starting grid as a result. First time we've done this all season long, so things are going to look much different, and we're trying this experiment out at bigger tracks as opposed to going for hot laps where it doesn't matter all too much. It's going to look different for sure as drivers make it around lap after lap. This is qualifying from the Pocono Raceway, and if you're tuning in, great to have you aboard very early. As always, I'm your host for tonight's broadcast, David Kreutz, and it's been a fun season so far, and Pocono Raceway is the nearest NASCAR track to me when it comes to the National Series. I've gone here several years in succession, haven't made the trip up after the pandemic, but this is one of the best places to go to see some in-person racing. There's been many critics of Pocono saying it's not as exciting on TV or likewise on a broadcast at all, but I beg to differ. This track can always provide thrilling racing no matter the scenario, and here on iRacing, I don't think it'll be any different. Big night on iRacing once again with many major updates, but it will all be mainly the same for these next-gen Cup cars, and as they make it around turn 3 as we watch with James Thurston, no sweat as the number 4 machine takes it deep and will find himself out of Indianapolis and on to Trenton. 30 iconic corners in one track. As a matter of fact, that was not Indianapolis, that was Milwaukee, and coming from Milwaukee Mile, one of the corners, of course, from that layout coming into Pocono Raceway. So 3 corners named after 3 iconic tracks. With the most banking, it is the Trenton Speedway, referenced through turn 1. Then there's the tunnel turn, also known as Indianapolis. Now, it's not the final turn, and it might look like a bit more banking than Indy, but perspective, much different. It looks like Thurston's going to go around, which gives room for Max Molina to keep us going. Molina goes through Indianapolis with no trouble. He's not going to spin it around, and through turn 2, onto the final of 3 corners, it's Milwaukee, as we just mentioned. Now, this is going to be where the least banking is, of course, very similar to how the Milwaukee Mile was driven, and as these drivers adapt each and every corner, a different style for the high speed, high banks of Trenton, all the way down to some lower speed, more finesse seen in Milwaukee. 3 corners, 3 tracks, and they've all combined into one. One driver to keep an eye out for who's back for the first time in quite a while here since the All-Star break, Jacob Wilkerson. The number 43 is already at the top of the board in his Burnt Rubber Racing Warehouse Chevrolet, now a Camry, and it looks like it's going to be the Toyota banner ran in the number 43 for the rest of the season. Michael Cormetis going to be second, and Mikey looking good for a chance at his first win this season, still chasing into that Coca-Cola number 25. Of all the rookies, he's been one of those who's actually had experience with this bunch of drivers. While it has not come directly in the FORL Cup Series for the most part, Cormetis is a veteran alongside these drivers in leagues like the IORA Cup Series, and that experience has been able to carry over quite well, and now Mikey finds himself second on the charts, only 14 one-thousandths of a second away from getting it to the top spot, and looking for pole position for the first time this season. Not too far off, 14 thousandths of a second off of Cormetis, and 28 thousandths of a second off the pole, it's Andrew Cootie, and right now Cootie, he's been quick, and of course Granwell and Milwaukee ended up getting shifted out of the way by drivers like River Page making their way through. Also, of course, winning at the Circuit of the Americas, he's been the road course ringer this season. Got it done at Sonoma and in Austin, Texas too, and he's not been able to get it done at an oval to this point in the championship. Most recently, he was an oval winner last season at Daytona, has not been able to get it done ever since. since, but many drivers have said that this is like a road course in terms of oval racing. You've got to most often brake heavy, maybe even use the shifters, and just like that, it's going to be a bit of trouble. Andrew Cootie shifts up to the top side of the wall. He's third right now in qualifying as Cormetis takes the pole by 3/1000ths of a second. That is subject to change, and that's why drivers come down to pit road if they want to get a better run, get a bigger draft partnership going. That might be the move for guys like Wilkerson. Jacobs on pit road. Looks like Cootie is much off the pace, and Cormetis going to come that way as well with a brutal hit as he gets out of turn 3. Another driver to keep an eye out for who just got on the circuit, Henry Kaloff. Like Cormetis, he's chasing his first win, and he's been awful consistent as well. Many rookies have already broken through. Jacob Wilkerson, Joey Stone, Ethan Workman, James Bomar, just to name a few, but there's still some who have gotten oh so close but have not seen the checkered flag for themselves. And for Kaloff tonight, he's one of those drivers I'd like to take a look at. I feel he's got a great chance if he can execute and bring it home all the way. I think for Kaloff, this is another great opportunity to get a nice run in. And for this number 63 camp, there's of course a lot to look forward to. Still more than half the season as our all-star race. We had a break for it, but did not have the event. There's still quite a lot of racing to go in this campaign, so there's opportunities to get it done with, of course, non-points paying races and the points paying features as well. So a lot to look forward to for Kaloff's camp. Another rookie looking to make it in. Michael Deitch has been quick. Number 57, about the fastest he's been all season long, and once again finds himself inside the top 10, but it's not off any strategy so far. He has been quick, and it looks like it is working out so far here in qualifying. 7th place, was inside the top 10 in practice too, so Deitch having some pace that does not look to be a fluke. He'll have to carry it for 80 laps though if he wants to make it all the way to the end with a fighting chance at the win. 80 laps, 200 miles, that's the overall outlook for this race, and with laps as quick as the ones we see at Pocono, it can fly by him, nothing flat, or we could get stuck. Seeing cautions breed cautions. Some trouble for drivers like James Thurston going around that time through. The number 4 is going to head back to pit road, and it's not an even surface all the way. You get down low to the apron in each and every turn, even get through pit road. You'll see some bumps are visible through pit road, but that's also on the track. This is not a squeaky clean surface. It does require some patience if you end up off of the racing surface, and you could go up into the air for just a bit if you do it all wrong. Ross Corlette's been looking to do it right. He's got himself a podium on the season. Best finish, of course, coming second to his teammate of Andrew Cootie. Still looking for his first win. He was the shining driver for the Guardian Esports crew, now CCH Motorsports, last season. Made it to the Final Four as an underdog driver, but has not done much of note yet this season. Still looking to make a playoff run and make an impact, but so far for Corlett, 7th on the order, has not been able to do much of that tonight. Getting just above Michael Deitch here. Dustin Pickle going to be 9th, Xander Prestige is 10th, and Joseph Lewis is 11th with Hunter Bogdan now in 12th, and Alex Jones then 13th. Looks like your race control has just joined the session. Joaquin Stewart and Bryce Hamrick. Kenny Reel's going to get on the way, and Reel in the number 11 machine looking to soar to new heights in his Jordan Camaro. Nice look once again. Different paint scheme week after week, and this time around carrying the banner of the iconic Nike shoe, and he finds himself right now 16th on the timing order, and the only driver, save for Kenny Reel, who has not put in the time to this point, is Joey Stone. Stone just got on the track with a minute flat remaining. Odds are not going to be able to get a lap in, and it looks like he will be starting at the back of the field yet again. He's been doing that all season long, though. For Joey Stone, I don't believe it is a cause of missing it, losing time. I think right now for the Ancient World number 8, still running that iconic throwback look, he's just trying to get his bearings in, driving through the field, which makes sense. If you cannot drive through the field, you're really going to be in a lot of trouble. Track position is a major crutch that many drivers use to their advantage in just qualifying well, but if you end up on the short end of the stick one way or another, you need a way to get back. For the first time in this season, we have one faster pair. Not quite sure why that's the case, but it looks to be a bend of the rule, per se. It wasn't expected, but that looks to be a setup of the server that gives us one extra chance. And right now, Michael Cormetis used his chance wisely. He's the fastest man in qualifying and looks to grab the pole position here in the tricky Triangle 200. Qualifying effectively over, and the timer will run out the clock as drivers are still taking their final laps. But Cormetis has reason to be calm and collected. Looks like for now, with so few drivers on the track, he will be the winner here of the pole position, getting it done at Pocono and setting himself up for a chance at his first career win in the FORL Cup Series. As we take a look at pit road occupied by some of the best drivers all season long, Cootie, Cormetis, Wilkerson, and also some contenders outside of that frame such as Henry Kaloff. And as we look through this time by, it looks like there's only two drivers still taking laps, and that would be Justin Mons and Kenny Reel, both of which look to have concluded their times, and they won't be able to get all too much out of it regardless of what happens. Now, the starting grid, not yet going to be on the screen, but the moment it pops up, you will know, because we're going to not only see your drivers in formation, but your overall timing sheet. Without further ado, up in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, this is the Tricky Triangle 200, and this is your starting grid for round 11 of the FORL Cup Series Season 3. Let's get into the business here with Michael Cormetis and the Coca-Cola Chevrolet up at the top of the board with a 54.002, just 3/1000ths of a second ahead for the top spot. He gets it over Jacob Wilkerson with a 54.005, and then from there you'll see Andrew Cootie only 2/1000ths of a second off in his own right with a 54.007. Then going to be James Thurston, the number 4 machine, defending winner, and when Thurston gets hot, you will know it. Domination in both of his victories so far. Looking for a third, he starts just outside the top 3, 4th place with a 54.067. Then from there, Max Molina going to be 5th on the order with a 54.089. Defending champion lines up beside Ethan Workman, and his 54.093 puts him outside of row number 3 indeed. Henry Kaloff going to be 7th with a 54.156, and Justin Mons going to be in the 8th spot with a 54.395. Ross Corlett for the CCH Motorsport crew also inside the top 10, 54.471 for the number 91, and just beyond the single digits, Michael Deitch and the number 57 come through for a 54.492, and Deitch finds himself the last man of the top 10 in his number 57. Then from there, close spread in the top 10, also going to be the same here. Dustin Pickle, the number 21, finds himself in the 54.451 bracket specifically. That puts him 11th inside of row number 6, just ahead of Xander Prestige with a 54.565, and Joseph Lewis with a 54.595, 3/100ths of a second ahead of the final man inside the top dozen. Kenny Reel ties on lap time with Joseph Lewis, but Lewis gets the advantage. It appears iRacing going to go in Lewis's favor. Hunter Bogdan going to be there with a 54.623, and Alex Jones with a 54.718 is the final man to take time, with your 17th and final driver, Joey Stone, not opting to take a lap. Race control will be brought to you by Bryce Hamrick and Joaquin Stewart with this 19-car field as we set to look past the starting grid and get on to the racing here in the Tricky Triangle 200. This is your starting grid, and now, just behind the overlay, the drivers are grabbing their gears. And taking a look above the track, you can see the drivers starting to get right behind Michael Cormetis and the outside pole winner of Jacob Wilkerson. The drivers making their way through already on Trenton. It's the first turn of the track. Once again, for those who just came in, it's Trenton, then Indianapolis, and then Milwaukee. 3 turns here at the Tricky Triangle, all modeled after iconic circuits in oval racing. And Trenton, while it's no longer with us anymore, still has its iconic corner, its iconic banking, represented here in Long Pond, Pennsylvania. A 2.5-mile track finds itself as the second longest oval in all of NASCAR, tied with Daytona and only behind Talladega. It's a very long track, but it's a fast one. You'll see speeds over 175 miles an hour without hesitation, and drivers will be pushing their limits all the way until the very end. 80 laps on the board. It's going to come down to, of course, strategy, some chaos, yellows in between. No stage breaks, so this could go quite long, and Michael Cormetis hoping to be with that main pack until it's all said and done. The 25 will lead them down through Milwaukee. It's turn 3 and the final corner before we get on the way. There is no turn 4, and by this point, there is no turning back. Michael Cormetis leads the field. He's got Jacob Wilkerson right there as well, and as they bunch up one final time, the pace car will go through, and it's going to be down and in for the pace car, up and away for all the race cars. Green flags out in the Tricky Triangle 200. Round 11 of Season 3 is underway. And as drivers come by the stripe for the end of lap 1 momentarily, they'll take it right through Milwaukee and make it by. Jacob Wilkerson gets the race lead. Side by side for second, it's going to be Michael Cormetis and James Thurston. Lap 2 is going to be underway, and the driver, the number 43, finds himself out in front. James Thurston going to be there in second. Michael Cormetis going to be third. Andrew Cootie then is going to be fourth, with Justin Mons then rounding out the top 5 in the number 49 Coney machine. Some throwbacks are still going to be in the field tonight, with some trouble right there for Joseph Lewis, but so far, so good, as they'll make it by single file. Wilkerson makes a great pass in the first lap and now has that track position. Michael Cormetis going to be slotted down into third, and 2 laps in, drivers getting into a rhythm already, knowing there's so much time ahead of us, no reason to waste it, and choose instead, of course, to drive a bit too aggressive. Wilkerson now down to the bottom side is all he needs, and he'll take it down to the exit once again. Thurston almost has a fight from Cormetis, but he gets that spot right back, and at the line, once again, it's going to be all clear, all green flag. Thurston goes down to the bottom side, and it looks like James Thurston will take the lead. Thurston's out in front, and now it's going to be Jacob Wilkerson facing pressure from Michael Cormetis. It's already going to become a back-and-forth game of drafting, and just like that, Cormetis with the low line should have the edge as they go through turn 2. Andrew Cootie going to be side drafting with a quarter panel out, but it's going to be Michael Cormetis that works it down low and gets just enough off the exit to continue challenging Jacob Wilkerson. Working that low line alone, Cormetis going to be in a lot of trouble without any help, and Wilkerson gets right back in a second as Thurston leads the way, goes way high. He'll take Ethan Workman with them, and it's going to be Wilkerson down low, works in the short term, but Thurston able to break that draft and take it low on his own. Nice move there for the number 4 machine as he finds himself out in front. Thurston leads, Jacob Wilkerson second. Now Andrew Cootie and Michael Cormetis fight side by side for the third spot. And as the drivers are able to get through the first few laps, already going to be in a very good rhythm from the front to the back. You'll see some competition, of course. Hunter Bogdan now going to be 14 seconds off the pace, but otherwise Joey Stone going to be chasing Alex Jones, then Joseph Lewis, Dustin Pickle, and Kenny Reel. Some drivers getting back into the swing of things a bit quicker than others. Bogdan and Stone having some trouble way back, but otherwise it has been all clean. Andrew Coody's going to go down to the bottom side though, and using that low groove, it's going to work out to get dead even for just a moment. But Thurston has some huge momentum every time into Trenton. He's the quickest driver with no draft, and he's about 2 miles an hour quicker time after time. Doesn't matter how he goes up the track, when he goes up the track right now, it looks like Thurston has it locked in, and he'll be one of the fiercest drivers to contend with all night long. Look for the back, going to be a bit of a wiggle there. That looks to be from Ross Corlett, and it looks like for Ross Corlett, the wrong paint scheme on. We're going to get that re-uploaded in just a moment. Give us a second here. You might not see the footage for just a minute as we'll get the refresh on the number 91's paint. Corlett was supposed to be substituted for by Bryce Hamrick. Now that's the reason there's a bit of a change. On iRacing, you can change that wrap whenever you please, and that's going to be the situation in mind right now as we are going to update all paint schemes on FTN. As we get to it this time by, going to be a bit of wiggling as well, and as they go side by side, slicing and dicing, it's going to be Ethan Workman working at it as we're going to continue to work with our situation here. Now, it looks like we're being told that there's nothing to worry about, and it looks like for the number 91 of Ross Corlett, he's not able to change his paint scheme here. Now he should be good to go. Corlett, as you can see, that number 91 machine going to be inside of the 10th position. Let's ride on board with Ross Corlett and see what's going on. And as Ross makes his way out of turn 3, you'll see he's far outside the leading battle, watching his teammate go back and forth, swerving motions. Right now for Corlett, it's going to be the opposite intention. Stay calm, no matter what the circumstance is. He's going to brush the wall there, but no big deal. And staying in the middle of the field is a better place to be, of course, for keeping your equipment. One faster pair on the session. We'll see how strict the mandate is to use it. There might be a chance that if you use it at all, you'll be penalized, as these drivers are not allowed to use a faster pair all throughout this season. Now there's a chance they can. That's much different, of course, than anything else we've seen all throughout the year. One and only race with open qualifying so far, and the first race with at least a faster pair, and it's given us the same great racing all throughout. James Thurston going to be able to lunge it into second place. Jacob Wilkerson not too far behind. He's going to be in third, and the battle outside of the top 3 is as fierce as it could get. Thurston, Wilkerson, Michael Cormetis, all there at the same time, and they're all chasing the exact same thing, the first position. Thurston's going to lie back a bit more, let Cormetis get back to work as Jacob Wilkerson takes second. It looks like Andrew Cooney chose to break away at the right time. He now finds himself far ahead, and that's going to be great news for that number 9 camp. The rest of the field, not so much. All of a sudden, Andrew Cooney's got exactly what he needs, and it's a big race lead as the main pack stays right behind. And as you can see, working out every single corner, Michael Cormetis there going to be in the 4th spot right behind Max Molina. Molina's been a bit more quiet this season with 1 win on the campaign, getting it done at Gateway, but otherwise your defending champion has not made any major moves. Having a victory, of course, is much bigger than nothing at all, but at the same time, for Molina, it's nothing too major. He was a dominant man last season. As we take a look at our drone shot from afar entering turn 1, Molina is going to choose to drift up the track just a bit more, trying something different, and it looks like for now it's going to work. He'll hold his position. That's exactly what he needs to do, and as they come across the first turn's exit, you'll see a swerve back and forth. It's going to be a big line of drivers going up and down the track, back and forth. The reason they're doing this, of course, is to keep that draft. The leader tries to break it. Some drivers choose not to and just go straight, trying to, of course, break the loss of momentum from turning back and forth. Other drivers go full on, and they decide that if they want to make that draft happen, they'll have to stay directly in the wake of their leader. And right now, it looks like all is going to stay the same. No big movements down the front stretch, and Andrew Cootie still leads the remainder of the field, has a 4/10 of a second advantage over Jacob Wilkerson. Max Molina finds himself about half a second adrift, and Michael Cormetis is the man who rounds out in the top 4 here. He's going to be 6/10 off. James Thurston's 5th, Justin Mons is in 6th, and Ethan Workman is there in 7th. Michael Deitch going to be with Henry Kaloff, and then finally you'll see Ross Corlett to round out your top 10. And right now, every driver inside about the first 8-9 positions have a great opportunity to still come home with even a podium or a win. Might not seem like now with a breakaway, but as strategy goes on, if you can time your runs, make them matter when they matter most, of course, you're going to see a big improvement for some of the guys in the back half of this pack. Just because you're far out from the lead right now doesn't mean much else, because Andrew Cootie's breaking the draft, and they're getting way too risky. James Thurston down to the wall. That was absolute aggression, and sometimes you don't want to be that aggressive, as Mikey takes it down to the bottom side. Now Jacob Wilkerson goes high, and Thurston stays up on the top side, looking to make it 3. Not much you can do that time there as they begin to bang with the wall time after time. Thurston slots down low, then goes right up high, faking back and forth, trying to get something out of Max Molina. And it looks like then he did. Gets just enough to go side by side for a moment's notice, then pull down low, trying to go for a crossover, but does not have the speed. Thurston, immediately after that mistake, trying to find any opportunity to redeem himself from the setback. And now as we hit the double digits, 11 laps in, Thurston's fading back a bit further, trying to find any last-ditch effort that could save this run for now. Max Molina going to stay in the back bumper here of Thurston, and now on to Jacob Wilkerson. Let's watch on board. And looking to find a way around Jacob Wilkerson. Molina stays glued to the bumper here and might be trying to get up to Max, of course, in his rival of Michael Cormetis. And Molina right now going to be working that number 43 as hard as he can, trying to get back to the rivals up in front of this race. Of course, Molina, Thurston, Wilkerson, and even Andrew Cootie have all been in the same fight all night long. But right now, if you want to get back up to that battle, you want to work with those around you. PBR teammates, Molina and Jacob Wilkerson, these two drivers under the same team owner, and it looks like it's going to be too big of a mistake for Wilkerson to get any help. Now down to the bottom side, Molina's going to take 3rd and almost take Thurston with, but it looks like the PBR drivers are going to stay inside the 3rd and 4th spots. They'll simply swap positions. Advantage now going to be for Molina, and James Thurston going to go way up high, makes a lunge in, but it looks like Wilkerson's going to get just back enough to make a charge through turn 2. Thurston has the spot, but Molina is still there, and so is Jacob Wilkerson. They're going to sandwich the number 4 machine for now and hope for the best later in the going. Andrew Cootie leads by 8/10 of a second. Leads by an astounding margin so far, especially considering the importance of the draft. He's been able to break the draft and get away from every driver behind him, and now with 8/10 of a second of a lead, he's just got to keep on going with no major mistakes, and he might be able to find himself in victory lane for the first time at an oval in over a season and a half. That's how long it's been for Cootie so far. It looks like the drought might be broken tonight, but he's got a ways to go to make sure that can happen officially. He's been great to this point, but there's still a lot left in this race. If you want to make it happen, you've got to execute on all fronts. And right now, he's done a great job of executing to this point, but the remainder of the race is as important, if not more so. Michael Cormetis going to remain on the back bumper, getting even closer now, 4/10 of a second as a matter of fact, and now finds himself side by side only with the wall, but looks to make it with Andrew Cootie as they come through turn 3. The draft finally going to be working back in Mikey's favor. And from a major advantage up in front, Andrew Coody's lead is now dissipated, and the number 25 of Cormetis finds himself only 0.2 of a second away. He's going to try to go high, back off a bit more into the corner, and use the first turn to sort of gauge the understanding that Andrew Coody has of his pace. Looks like it's going to be Cormetis backing off and being a bit less aggressive here, letting Andrew Coody do most of the work, and subsequently getting right back as one driver's out of shape. That's Justin Mons. Mons keeps it going. Nice and smooth recovery there, but that could have been much worse as it looks like Mons able to get back on the way without any other trouble. Great job there for Justin as we keep it going nice and smooth. Dustin Pickle going to be in a bit of trouble though. Looks like Pickle all out of shape gets it saved, and it looks like the number 21 machine and the 1 might have tangled. Let's take a look further back and find out just what happened here with an FTN instant replay on the matter. And as we take a look on back here on FTN, you'll see the number 1 machine is Xander Prestige. No contact from any other driver. Simply came on his own accord. So not good for Xander Prestige as he fades back even further. And the number 1 machine now going to be scored in 16th. 3 seconds adrift from the driver of the number 21 in Dustin Pickle. So he's off the pace right now and out of the pack. Michael Cormetis going to lead the way 16 laps in out of 80 and has had no trouble so far leading and fighting for it. Gets by Andrew Coody that time through exactly what he needed to do, and now that number 25 going to be able to lead the way. Andrew Coody goes down to the bottom side. It's going to be slicing and dicing, and it looks like Coody gets to the bottom just enough to get that lead right back. They'll be banging each other right up the track though, and it looks like Cormetis will put Coody almost in the wall as they're bumping each other that rough. Looks like some trouble for one driver in reverse. Michael Deitch single car incident, nothing will come of it, will stay green, and it looks like since Deitch able to put it away from the pack well enough that nobody else is involved, the caution will only come out now. And just like that, the yellow flag going to fly here on FTN. Michael Deitch going to be the first cause of which, and you'll see side by side, of course, with Justin Mons. Looks like he's just going to get hooked up to the top of the track, and that will bring out the caution. Yellow flag going to fly for Michael Deitch leading the race here. Of course, it was Michael Cormetis, but Deitch going to fade back in a not as well, of course, performance so far for the other Michael in the field. Going to find himself now scored second to last, 16th place, as we now see our first caution, 17 laps in. Andrew Coody now going to lead according to timing and scoring loops, and the number 9 is back out in front. And as we've got some time, looks like we're going to make some timing and scoring adjustments to make sure the broadcast is even better than what it is right now. So under yellow, you will not miss a thing. We're going to take a brief break on FTN and bring you right back with all the action after a message from all of our associates. Coming up immediately, it's going to be a promotion from the Highline Racing League, which will be live tomorrow night at 9:30 Eastern. Here's a bit more information about what they're all about as the Highline Racing League heads to Atlanta for their 4th race of the season next week. Now they're coming up to their 3rd. Take a look at their official promotional trailer for season 16, and we'll be right back. And as we return live on FTN, 19 laps in out of 80, some pit cycles give Max Molina the lead, and Molina finds himself out in front a quarter of the way through all of the racing. Max Molina now going to find himself at the head of the field, and all of a sudden the 45 is out in front for the first time tonight. Drivers come through on pit road, and it looks like right now Michael Deitch going to be serving his time on pit road and not using the one faster pair allowed. It looks like drivers not going to be given the option to use what's at their disposal. He's been on pit lane now for 12 minutes according to timing and scoring. However, that is not the case. Only going to be spending a total of 1 minute and 23 seconds as timing going to give the wrong info. He still has some damage, and 20 laps in, double file, the field will go with Cormetis up top and Max Molina right down low. A first quarter of this race that went by in nothing flat gives these drivers a chance to understand how the track's going to drive for the remainder of this race. Molina and Cormetis now looking to fight each other for the race win, and they've got pressure from guys like Thurston, Wilkerson, and Andrew Cootie. Cootie falling a bit further back throughout the field, and it looks like for him, the driver, the number 9, of course, fading back into 9th. He'll have to work a bit harder if he wants to get through up to the front of the field where he was before. Joey Stone going to benefit big. He had a very quick pit stop of only 38.9 seconds worth. Looks like nothing on terms of tires. Going to be only gas for the man in that number 8, and it's going to be a very quick stop indeed. Joey Stone back on the move. However, according to timing and scoring, a lot of drivers choosing to do the exact same thing. One of the drivers who spent a little more time, though, looked to have been Max Molina, so maybe a little bit of inconsistent reporting tonight as Pocono Raceway sees some different strategies early on. 4 tires, fuel, looks to be the norm. iRacing saying otherwise, and as we come back tonight, we're going to see how these drivers fare in the first restart here in the Tricky Triangle. The number 45 of Molina right down low. He's got Michael Cormetis up high and Jacob Wilkerson both behind. The green flag is set to fall at lap 21. And as the drivers come by this time through, going to be the iRacing official pace car that drops down and in. This time around, Max Molina's got the chance to lead the field to green. He's got Michael Cormetis up top, and they'll be side by side as we get the first restart underway from Pocono. Green flag's out. It's led by Max Molina. And as the drivers get back to the green flag here, it's going to be Molina leading the way. He's got Michael Cormetis right on the back bumper of him, and James Thurston right there too. They'll all be chasing each other down the front stretch as they make it through turn 1 on to turn 2. And it looks like as it stands, drivers getting back into the swing of things with a little bit of trouble. Joey Stone going to make some contact there with Ross Corlett. Nothing major going to come of it, but that could have been much worse. Thankfully, the drivers doing a very good job of avoiding a major incident, and will stay green as a result. Looking at the drivers making a by side, middle of the pack, you'll see Alex Jones going to be working it there with Xander Prestige. Looks like Jones gets the edge and will keep himself out in front, and Xander going to have to settle to be a bit further behind. And now Max Molina has that lead as Thurston and Cormetis fight each other for the runner-up spot. Going to be Jacob Wilkerson then 4th, and Andrew Cootie now in 5th. And as they work it down, up and down the track, it's going to certainly be a different approach to the rest of this race. First pit stop underway. Now we're going to get a feel of another run, and with the experience brought on from the first set of tires and the first run on fuel, there's a bit of a different mentality coming into the remainder of this event. Getting about 20 laps of this race done without any incident, and now resetting ourselves will give these drivers a chance to have that know-how of how to navigate when the tires get a bit warmer, get a bit more worn out, and the going gets a bit rougher. Now with that of course, information in mind. It's going to be a different mindset for the drivers that will bring us till the very end. And right now, the drivers doing a very good job of adapting to what's going on all around them. Cormettis going to be right there with James Thurston and Max Molina too. As they work it down to the bottom side of the track, you'll see Thurston trying to swerve alongside the race leader. Nothing's going to come of it though, and right now the swerving doesn't lead to anything major. Michael Cormettis going to not do as much swerving as the drivers behind, and he'll keep himself there in second. Top 5 going to be separated now by 0.8 of a second. Looking further back, you'll see Ethan Workman, who's going to be 1/10 of a second off as well. He's about 1/10 off of Ethan Workman. Of course, that's Kenny Reel, and Reel now going to be there with Alex Jones, Xander Prestige, Joey Stone, and Ross Corlett. Most battle going to be seen, of course, in the back of the field. Justin Mullins going to get very shaken up and now finds himself behind Corlett, and that's another incident with the number 49 machine involved. Got involved with Michael Deitch earlier on. Deitch still has damage, but it looks like no faster bear taken for him despite the option tonight to take one and only one. He's going to refrain from doing so here. And Max Molina is going to keep himself up in front as a result. No caution, nothing to be afraid of as Molina continues to log laps and lead them as he goes for his second win of the season. Here in the number 45, bringing this brand new McDonald's paint scheme to the PBR team. He's got Burt Rubber Racing Warehouse on the quarter panel, representing the team that's, of course, been doing oh so well here in the FORL Cup Series with multiple drivers. Sean Rowe, while not here tonight, also another fierce contender when he's able to make the charge up. Max Molina is already a champion in this series, and drivers, of course, such as James Bowar and the aforementioned Jacob Wilkerson, all heavy hitters whenever they come out to the track. And it would be no different if they make something happen here tonight. So far, it looks like Max Molina's got that advantage on this run. Cormettis is lying back about 1/4 of a second, but it almost looks like what happened to Andrew Cootie. And Cootie now finds himself in third. He's on the different end of the same problem. The leader breaking away from the draft, getting that lead and extending it big, only to be brought back down to earth and then some, and eventually shuffled out of the top spot entirely. You don't want to see that happen if you're a guy like Andrew Cootie, even if it's going to happen to someone else, because it can bring back some more aggressive racing, get you involved in a wreck for the race lead. And right now it's all about managing the gap to the driver ahead of you, and for Max Molina it's about managing a gap to the driver who is behind you. And it looks like right now he's done a much better job of just staying just ahead as opposed to breaking it all the way and going all out without any other thought. He's still going to be just ahead of Michael Cormettis right now, side by side, further on to the back of the field, and that looked to be for a brief moment Ethan Workman and Jacob Wilkerson. Wilkerson now going to see Workman tuck in, and it looks like for these two drivers, they'll be working each other over lap after lap just outside of the battle for the lead. Now, tucking in once again, the 43 is going to get a bit of a shove here, and it looks like Workman will send Wilkerson a little deeper, and it's going to be Ethan Workman trying to work his way down to the bottom here out of Milwaukee. It's going to be the number 23 Workman, and with that draft, he's going to see ahead of him Andrew Cootie now goes for a move on Michael Cormettis, thinks better of it, and comes back to the main line of drivers. 3 are going to be able to break away a bit further. It's going to be now Max Molina, Michael Cormettis, Andrew Cootie, all 3 of which up in front, with James Thurston, Jacob Wilkerson, and Ethan Workman all working with one another right now just beyond the leading pack. It's going to be a 3-car bundle up ahead, then a 3-car bundle just behind, and these are the main contenders for the race win as it stands 27 laps in out of 80. The Tricky Triangle 200 will come down to these drivers or someone else, that's for certain, but to be a bit more specific, I think these drivers would be the best picks. Guys like Thurston, Cormettis, Max Molina, Andrew Cootie, guys who have won laps, of course, leading them in terms of getting it done for a victory of a lap per se. They've led laps looking for the win. They know what it's like to defend in crucial situations. And while Cormettis has yet to score his very first career FORL Cup Series win, unlike the rest of the top 6, he's got experience with these drivers and can win around them. The question is, will this night be the one where he breaks through? And right now, Andrew Cootie going to try to break through on Max Molina here. He's Still finds himself a bit further off of the back bumper than he'd like to be, but getting closer and closer and even closer. Taking a look off of second corner there through Indianapolis. Now Cootie's going to be making some contact and chooses to go high, running that James Thurston line, and he's going to take it up to the top, much like Thurston did beforehand, and have that momentum coming through once again. Down to the bottom side, Max Molina will take it. It looks to be lap 29 of 80, and all of a sudden, Molina's going to be a bit further ahead than he was on Cootie just moments ago. It's a cat and mouse game up in front for these two drivers. Looking further back, you'll see now side by side again, Wilkerson and Workman, and it looks like right now for Jacob almost getting a bit of contact, but he'll choose to run up the track as opposed to rubbing the 23. No contact going to be made, with some calmer driving at the head of the field, making sure we can keep it on the green and keep a solid run going. That's the difference between the drivers experienced at the front and those who are a bit newer in the back of the group. And right now, these drivers ahead, while racing at a much closer rate, they're certainly putting on a great show. Michael Kremenis has just blipped out on connection issues, just came back in. But that looks to be another issue we've seen more and more out of Kremenis out of recent. And Mikey seems to have another issue with that connection. And now for the Kremenis number 25 camp, it might become a question of connection to the server. That's happened multiple times before with disconnections, but most recently it only comes and goes as a small defect that does not impact race performance. So Mikey does not have all too much a reason to be too worried for now, but it could impact the way the other drivers race him. If they see less of him, they'll make moves like he is not there. And it's going to show as the night goes on that it's going to be different racing if Mikey does keep up that issue. It looks like right now, no chance to find out. Caution flies 30 laps in. Looks to be for James Thurston. However, he is straight on the track, and it looks like it's going to be an immediate yellow flag thrown out for the number 4. Let's take a look back and find out what happened here as Thurston gets it loose off of one, then tries to block on a Workman. The instant replay here going to show you exactly what's going on, and it looks like he will get tagged, and the caution going to come out prematurely here because Thurston saves it quite easily and could have kept it under green. Great save for James Thurston, but the yellow flag flies early, and we're back under caution. It looks like anticipating a bit more of a reaction, but Thurston keeps it straight, nice and smooth, and the number 4 will be able to keep on going despite the incident at hand. And that's exactly what you've got to do right now if you're a driver like James Thurston. It looks like he did the right thing, kept it all going, and 31 laps in out of 80. The driver, the number 4, and Thurston, keeps himself up in front. He's going to be 6th right now, getting those spots right back. Max Molina going to be the overall race leader, and he'll find himself ahead as it stands 31 laps in out of 80. Been a fantastic start so far for these drivers. 2 yellow flags in 31 laps. Nothing major in terms of incidents, so not much to worry about for these guys as they go on. And I think we are due to see perhaps another restart race without pit road. It looks like this stint going to be a bit shorter than the last, so I'm not expecting to see drivers come in to pit road once again, at least for the time being. Only one driver off the lead lap. That would be Hunter Bogdan, and Bogdan looking to get back on the lead lap this time through, getting that opportunity to recover and get those spots back in before it's too late. Max Molina leads the way, and it looks like they will all choose to come down a pit road, and it looks like 10 laps is just enough to come through once again. The field is going to be led by Max Molina down to the pit road as we have our second caution of the day. Molina there, Andrew Cootie is 2, and now the field gonna fly right in as it's caution number 2, looking for restart 2 in the tricky triangle 200. They worked their way down to the bottom, and it looks like it's gonna be a pit road race to remember for these drivers. They all make it in at about the same time, and it looks like it's gonna be 4 tires and fuel yet again. Who's gonna make it out first, though? That still is the question, and coming through pit road this time by, it looks like it's going to be Max Molina with the first run off, but it's going to be Michael Cormenis advantageous, and it will be Mikey up in front. Cormenis going to win off pit road over Max Molina. James Thurston's going to be in fourth with Jacob Wilkerson third. Ethan Workman is in fifth. Andrew Cootie sixth. Henry Kaloff going to be in seventh with Xander Prestige, then eighth. Then Kenny Real ninth, and Xander Prestige going to be just ahead of Ross Corlett. Corlett rounds out the top 10 off of pit road. Just like that, with 32 laps on the board, Michael Cormenis still finds himself as the race leader. He's going to be up in front yet again, and he has looked in control all night long. Whenever he gets that lead, he's able to keep on firmly. He's had some connection issues, as we mentioned, but either way, he's still one of the best drivers in this fight so far. As we come closer and closer to the halfway point, no reason to believe he will not be able to keep this up. It looks like this performance is far from over for Mikey, as he keeps that number 25 there in the top spot. Not too far back, you're going to see Max Molina then in second. Jacob Wilkerson going to be third, and James Thurston will be fourth. Ethan Workman's position number 5. It's Andrew Cootie then sixth, and Henry Kaloff going to be in seventh with Xander Prestige eighth and Kenny Real ninth. And as we mentioned, Ross Corlett rounds out the top 10. Entirety of the field went down to pit road that time. Looks like even Hunter Bogdan, who's one lap down, chose to do so as well. And Bogdan will remain one lap down here. And it looks like it's going to be the 00 machine, still with the same strategy as the field. Bogdan, the 17th driver, still going. All 17 that started this race are still on the track. 19 registrations, 2 for race control, 17 to be racing with the pack. And 33 laps in, it's Cormenis and Molina once again leading the field through, and they will make it down to lap 34 to get the race back green as we're closer and closer to our halfway marker. 2 cautions so far, that's been all, and it looks like the Tricky Triangle 200 been a clean affair for most drivers. Max Molina going to be second with Jacob Wilkerson third, James Thurston is fourth, Xander Prestige fifth, and Ethan Workman then in sixth. Going to be Andrew Cootie seventh, Kenny Real eighth, Henry Kaloff now going to be just beside the driver of Ross Corlett, that's ninth and 10th, and Alex Jones 11th with Joey Stone 12th, Michael Deitch 13th, Joseph Lewis 14th, and Dustin Pickle 15th. Justin Mons, final man on the lead lap. That is your field at the moment. 33 laps in, we've gone to pit road twice, and it looks like if there's any other caution before about the lap 75 on marker, of course, but more within the last 20 laps, this should be the penultimate pit stop of the race. Expecting to see a bit more clean racing if we can get back into a groove, but right now aggression going to be getting even closer to its all-time high for this race, which is expected to be later in the going. 33 laps in out of 80. Michael Cormenis chasing his first win of the season, and Max Molina chasing his second. Both going to be side by side, connected yet again for the second restart of the day. Getting right back into it this time through. It looks like Cormenis going to blink on the restart here, and that's going to be some trouble, and it looks like the field will not go. The field doesn't go. It's going to be an extended time on pit road, of course, for the pace car. He'll come right back out and extend the caution. Cormenis is going to blink out just before the restart begins, and now it's going to be the field waiting for the iRacing official pace car as they find themselves at a loss. Michael Cormenis going to blink on the restart. The field going to be postponing the caution one more time around. Extra lap will go back green at lap 35. So a big change there, and that could have been destruction of Michael Cormenis and his run, but it looks like nothing will come of it, and the drivers will choose to keep it going without an issue. Pace car is going to be right now coming back into the picture, and we'll have one more pace lap before things get going all over again. Max Molina going to lead the way. He's got Michael Cormenis right beside him with Jacob Wilkerson, Xander Prestige, and Ethan Workman there as well. 34 laps in out of 80 here on FTN Pocono Raceway, giving us some great racing so far, and we're looking to see what's left for these drivers as they've been putting on some very solid performances. Now there's a lot of contenders still in the mix, very few with any damage at all. Thurston faded back on pit road down to 12th, but still he'll have a chance to climb back up the same way Andrew Cootie did. Cootie now finds himself in 6th, but was up there in the podium before the pit road cycle came back into play yet again. So there's a chance to go through the track, get that position back, and find yourself putting it into picture for the race lead. Side by side through Milwaukee one more time, and we'll go racing with lap number 35 on the board. And the field's going to rocket through. This time around, it's going to be the pace car diving in, and it looks like this will be for real. Max Molina going to be side by side with Cormenis for restart number 2. Green flag back on the move, and we are back on our way. 34 on a 35 laps in, and the restart brings the field back for the second time. And Michael Cormenis going to be able to dominate that start there with some trouble for one driver, Ethan Workman. Workman going to fade back big. It looks like he comes back on the track and keeps it straight. No caution going to fly, but Workman going to lose a lot of time there. And the number 23 now going to be blinking in and out even further, so Workman going to be in a lot of trouble, losing all that track position. Let's take an instant replay back and find out just what happened as we're going to watch here, looking with on board of Ethan Workman. We'll see when he gets loose, because it looks like with no contact, he'll dive down to the bottom and save it. And as we mentioned, that track surface outside of the racing groove is very uneven. You cannot trust that at all, and if you find yourself out of that racing line, you're going to be bouncing up and down the track, and it's going to cost you big. Now Michael Cormenis going to be able to lead the way yet again. He's got Max Molina there in 2nd, Andrew Cootie in 3rd, and Jacob Wilkerson in 4th. Top 4 drivers going to be within a quarter of a second now as they come across the line. They will be single file unless Molina chooses to make that move, and that he does. Max Molina takes it right down low, and the number 45 machine takes it to the lead with Andrew Cootie right on the back bumper as well. Cootie will take it down with a drive down to the bottom side. He'll have it go, and it looks like the 3-wide move will work. Andrew Cootie leads the way with a bombastic 3-wide move, and that's exactly what he needs to make it to the race lead. 37 laps in out of 80. There's still more than half of this race remaining, and they're getting a bit antsy up in front. You'll see side by side with Cootie and Cormetis now. Mikey's going to be up high. It looks like Cootie's down low, and they'll say side by side with no major movement just yet, as it looks like the number 45 machine Molina lays back with his teammate in Wilkerson. Up and down the order, mostly single file, but the leaders are getting a bit more antsy and aggressive. Surprising to say the least for guys like Cormetis here, as these drivers certainly do not want to waste their equipment. It is now or never. If there's a chance to get it done, you've got to use it later, not now. It's only one car, and it looks like some drivers actually have taken their fast repairs, but otherwise, as it's been all season long, no fast repairs have been used to this point. Of course, now the drivers have used it. It's going to be a bit different here at Pocono, but otherwise, there is a precedent in play. You do not want to use a fast repair, even if there is an option to. Just not been the way this season has been run, and it looks like right now for Cormenis and most of the leaders, that is indeed the way it will stay. Most drivers up in front have been able to keep their cars clean. James Thurston has been able to claw back up in a 6th, and despite some trouble for Joey Stone's now going to lock it down and lock it up. Very close to a wreck. Stone's going to save it, and it looks like that one caught on the frame, and Joey Stone going to fade back into 14th. And now the number 8 machine of Joey Stone, continuing a troublesome night at the middle of the field, finds himself yet again in a bit of trouble, going almost like Ethan Workman did. Luckily saves it as well, but that could have been a race-ending moment as they come around this time by Michael Cormenis side by side with Andrew Cootie, and at the line, it's going to be Cootie with the lead. Michael Cormenis not too far behind, and Jacob Wilkerson going to be chasing as Max Molina does a bit more of the work for his PBR teammates. now Cootie's going to get a bit more of an extended lead. Max Molina is going to be in second here, waiting about a tenth and a half behind, with, of course, Michael Cormenis there in third. 1, 2, 3 out in front. A little bit of a breakaway then to Wilkerson and Thurston, and Henry Kaloff now going to be there in sixth, as Xander Prestige is holding his own in seventh, and Kenny Reels then in eighth. So all of a sudden, while these drivers are beginning to break away a bit more up in front, different packs are forming just beyond, and if these three up in front make a big mistake that impacts them all, we might just see some drivers claw through and cut their way back up, and maybe have a chance to race win as well. At the line, Andrew Cootie gonna try to block the draft of both drivers behind. He'll be able to do so and keep himself up in front. 40 laps in, it is going to be the Napa Auto Parts number 9 of Andrew Cootie leading the way, and he'll take him to lap number 40 here, halfway down, halfway to go next time by, and you'll see Molina there and Mikey as they keep it going. A little bit of taps to the wall, nothing major, but if that does continue, we might see some more damage accumulate, and that's not what you want to see at all from these drivers. And if they make those small pieces of contact, they might not be major, it can definitely impact the performance of their cars. And right now with these next-gen composite bodies, they do take a beating, and that small amount of contact shouldn't mean all too much. But iRacing, not always consistent with how it registers damage. You cannot afford to make a slip up like that and have it cost you your entire race. That's simply something you cannot do. And right now for Andrew Cootie, with 40 laps remaining, he has not made a slip up all night long. He still looks good to lead, and he's got Michael Cormenis still in the back bumper trying to take a chance at it as well. Two drivers still looking for a big win in two different ways. And while Cootie has not, of course, gone winless this season, he'd love to break it back into the ovals for a change. After being such a consistent driver of the road courses in this series, now there's a chance to get it done here, back turning left. And that's a big deal, of course, because most of the series is made up of ovals. You cannot afford to be relying on road courses when a good majority of the schedule is not a road course in any capacity. Pocono, they say sometimes it drives like a road course, but for Andrew Cootie, doesn't matter how it drives, it matters how it is. And right now it is a fact. He's got the lead by 0.4 of a second. Let's take a look on board with your leading driver of Andrew Cootie and the number 9. And some shifting gears for Andrew Cootie as we ride a lap on board with the number 9 machine. So it is going to be from 4th to 5th, especially down the longest straightaway on the track into Trenton. You cannot afford to stay in 4th gear, but for the most part, Cootie choosing to stay there, except for, of course, the long straightaway coming out of Milwaukee up into Trenton. 38 laps to go. James Thurston and Michael Cormenis going to be right there as well, and they'll be going back and forth side by side in the same vein, as they'll be battling each other for every position they can. Right now, there's only one more position they want, and that is the lead, neck and neck for second, and they're trying to let Andrew Cootie get that lead, and they'll reel him back in with a draft and pass him like it's nothing. It's a very tricky process. Even if it looks simple, the tricky triangle has its own secrets, and sometimes these drivers are not adjusted to it at all. You cannot afford to be missing a moment of concentration, and at this track, Cormenis is going to get very loose, almost going to make some contact with Thurston. And as we mentioned, you've got to be aware of your surroundings, understand what's going on, because this track, while is not a drafting track in the same vein as Talladega or Daytona, it absolutely requires the same amount of focus and thinking in the same vein as a track where you're going 200 miles an hour. The track is not as quick, but you have to think more about the turns, and right now, one driver going to be turning, and that's going to be Henry Kaloff. Caution flies as the number 63 gets back on the way. Jacob Wilkerson looked to be affected, and the drivers stay straight for the most part, but still will bring out the yellow flag. Henry Kaloff going to be involved in this one. And it looks like for the driver, number 63, it's going to be a yellow flag brought out for Kaloff, as we're going to take a look back at the instant replay to find out just what happened. Now let's take a look on board with Henry Kaloff. We just sent it back, and it looks like by this point he's already spun. So let's take a look even closer at the situation. And for Henry Kaloff with 36 to go, just getting a loose off corner, then makes contact with Wilkerson, gonna beat and bang off the wall, and it looks like from there, Kaloff goes down to the bottom of the track, and that will bring out the yellow flag. Caution gonna fly for Henry Kaloff and the driver of the 43, Jacob Wilkerson, making some contact and bringing us back to the caution. And as we bring it right back to the live feed, Kaloff going to be back with the pack here, and there's Andrew Cootie out in front. Cootie leads. James Thurston is in second, and Michael Cormetis is in third, as Max Molina holds his own. Then in fourth, it's Ross Corlett fifth. Jacob Wilkerson now going to be scored just beside Ross Corlett. They're trading places back and forth, fifth and sixth, and Kenny Reel is now in eighth, side by side with Henry Kaloff for a moment there, and the ninth spot is held by Michael Deitch with Joey Stone rounding out the top 10. 36 laps remaining here in Pocono, and 45 in. It's been a very good performance for Andrew Cootie once again. Whenever he's on, he's able to lock in and keep it going, but he's had a lot of fierce competition, namely Michael Cormetis, who's been about as locked in as well, and James Thurston, who's right behind, and now the driver's getting a chance to come to pit road again. They will do so without hesitation. Down to pit road this time by, it's going to be Andrew Cootie leading the field, and he'll take them in once again for what might just be the money stop of the race. Now down to pit road with 36 laps remaining, as he'll take them all in. Andrew Cootie's got the advantage. James Thurston right there as well. And now time to find out who's got the stuff on pit road and who does not. Andrew Cootie's got that lead coming through, and Michael Cormetis is right there as well. Up in front of the field, it's going to be all about this pit stop, all or nothing. And as we take a look at our pit road exit camera, you'll see quite a lot of room between the first cones and the final, where you absolutely have to be. Blue cones at the exit of pit road. Michael Cormetis, no doubt about it, leads off pit road, and it looks like from there there's going to be Max Molina, James Thurston, Andrew Cootie, Ross Corlett, Michael Deitch, Xander Prestige, Kenny Reel, and Joey Stone as your top 10. Joey Stone going to be the final man of which inside the top 10, as Hunter Bogdan rolls by to get back on the lead lap. Now 17 drivers on that lead lap, and they find themselves all back at a level playing field more than half of this race in. Alex Jones scored as the race leader, has the fastest time on pit road, and all of a sudden the brand new man up in front of the field. Going to be Jones leading, Michael Cormetis then second, and then Max Molina, of course, in third, with James Thurston fourth and Andrew Cootie in fifth. Ross Corlett's going to be sixth with Michael Deitch then seventh, and Xander Prestige is eighth with Kenny Reel ninth and Joey Stone 10th. It's 11th for Ethan Workman, 12th for Justin Mons, 13th Joseph Lewis, and Hunter Bogdan then 14th now with Henry Kaloff, Dustin Pickle, and Jacob Wilkerson rounding out the field. Wilkerson's got a lot of damage here, and this might be the first major incident we see all night long that's going to provide some race-ending damage. Wilkerson looks destroyed, and it looks like there's not much more he can do but fall one lap down as the field comes by. Can Wilkerson respond? It looks like, as it stands, nothing's going to come of it, and Wilkerson's out of the cockpit. This might be the night for Jacob Wilkerson, as it looks like he just now has not gotten back moving. One final checkup, but it certainly does look like he might be done. Wilkerson one lap down and one lap to green. 23 laps remaining. It's Alex Jones now the race leader for the first time this season, and Michael Cormetis right there as well. Up in the front of the field, Jones in first, then Michael Cormetis second. The podium is rounded out by James Thurston with Max Molina and Xander Prestige right there as well. And this is about the time you see some drivers trying to make some risky moves to get up in front. Alex Jones going to be risking it all on this play here to stay up at the front of the field. Had a very short pit stop of only 5 seconds, and it looks like for him only taking gas as opposed to getting a set of new tire. So just like that, going to be a much different change of pace with Alex Jones up in front, controlling the restart for the very first time this season. We're going to find out what Alex Jones can do, and we're going to find out very, very quick. Haven't seen all too much of him up in front to this point, but now that's about to change as they come through this time by the drivers of these well, it could be any number, but the drivers of these Camaros, these Mustangs, and these Camrys know there's only 33 green flag laps left at most. Make the most of them and go from there. The 045 Alex Jones finds himself up in front, leads the way with Michael Cormetis then second, and James Thurston rounds out the podium as we're back underway in the Tricky Triangle 200. Now Alex Jones going to be able to hold his own, but with James Thurston coming by on the inside line, that might change in a moment's notice. Thurston's already going to take it down to the bottom side with some speed and with some power. Now all of a sudden, Thurston's going to put Alex Jones' chances in jeopardy as he'll wash up high to the higher side of the track as well. Just like that, Alex Jones is fading, and the rest of the field is coming by without an issue at all. Now you'll see a bit of trouble from Xander Prestige, Corlett, Ethan Workman. The caution's due to fly, and that it will. 33 laps to go. Yellow flag is out yet again, and this time it's going to fall for Xander Prestige, involved with Ross Corlett and Jacob Wilkerson. Let's take a look back and find out what happened here with Corlett getting tagged by Prestige and coming up the track with Ethan Workman there as well. 3 drivers going to get involved with this one, 3 wide, and it looks like it will go wrong. Caution is out, and just like that, the yellow flag will fly yet again with 32 laps remaining. As we take a look back up in front of the field, Xander Prestige going to be in 15th. Overall, it's going to be James Thurston now leading, and it looks like the number 4 machine gets the better of this restart. Now is going to be with the advantage up at the top spot of the field. Then Max Molina is going to be scored in 2nd with Michael Cormetis 3rd. It's Andrew Cootie 4th. Alex Jones 5th, and Joey Stone position number 6. It'll be Justin Mons then in 7th with Kenny Reel in 8th, and Michael Deitch will be 9th with Joseph Lewis, position number 10. Top 10 going to be more of the same from our most recent restart. Only driver who's fallen off quite big is Jacob Wilkerson, still on pit road, 3 laps down. Nothing has come of that. Number 43 might just be the night for him, and an unfortunate ending after a very strong start, returning for the first time since our All-Star week off. And now, it looks like Wilkerson not going to be able to chase a victory tonight, waiting for another opportunity, hopefully getting a chance next week. It looks like there is no limit on how these drivers will go down a pit road. It's going to be a fake out for most, but some drivers choosing to actually go in. Namely, of course, you're going to see Ethan Workman and Hunter Bogdan going through. Drivers with damage opt to come in for real. Rest of the field, not so much. And with 31 laps to go, it looks like Thurston will take it down to the bottom side, but not in terms of pit strategy. He goes down there almost as if the choose rule is already in effect. That it won't be, as pit road's going to be active. You'll see a few drivers making it in. Dustin Pickle going to miss the pit stall, so we'll see who can get out of this one the quickest. Jacob Wilkerson just hopped out of the cockpit yet again. You saw him come in for just a brief moment, but it looks like still 7 minutes and 20 seconds on pit road. He's choosing not to get out, and it looks like that might be the race for him, with Dustin Pickle now getting on the way. Hunter Bogdan there too, and Ross Corlett's got some major damage alongside Ethan Workman, and the driver, the number 1 is Xander Prestige, all of which still going, but they're on pit road right now, still trying to get some damage repaired if they want to keep this race up for themselves. And with 31 laps to go, James Thurston leading. We are set to go back green with 29 laps remaining. Looks like Ethan Workman and Michael Cormetis both lagging out of the session at the same time, both of which going to fade to the bottom of the timing charts. And it looks like they both went out at the same time, so might be iRacing's end, as both drivers are automatically disconnected at once. We're going to find out whether or not this is a fluke, as neither drivers have been put back on the track. The 25, the 23, both running so well tonight. Workman did add damage, but I'm not quite sure what's going on, as I do believe at this rate they both have been entirely disconnected from the session at the same time. Workman is gone, Cormetis is gone, both of which coming at the same time, and it looks like network troubles take two down at the very same moment. Workman's now back on, but it looks like for Cormetis, he's not. And Ethan's going to get back on the move, but Mikey not going to be a trace. And it looks like now there's trouble for the number 25, as Michael Cormetis, suffering some blinking all night long, going to find himself now out of this event, maybe for the rest of it. 30 laps to go. It's going to be a very hard challenge, of course, to overcome, losing at least 2-3 laps. And now he needs several cautions to bring him back into the fold. 30 laps to go. This time by coming to 29. Michael Cormetis has disconnected from the session. Looks like internet troubles will get him out of the picture, and Ethan Workman, almost at the same time, going to be fully disconnected, comes back on the track. So some internet issues plaguing the field, and some front runners taken out with such a great chance. Michael Cormetis, pole sitter tonight, leading laps, now looks to be out of contention almost entirely. Cormetis, from of course the lead of the field early on, now finds himself 15th and almost last, with Ross Corlett and Jacob Wilkerson both being off the lead lap already. And now Thurston facing off against a new set of drivers. Andrew Cootie, Alex Jones working their way back up in the picture. Cootie's been very quick all night long, has led some laps, but as of recent, has been up and down with all these restarts and differences in strategy. Now he's looking to hold his own, keep it consistent, and go until the very end. Alex Jones in a very similar spot. He is in 4th right now, and he's looking to make a big statement out of this race. Closest he's been to the race lead all night long, all season long, and now he's looking to do it all over again with the majority of the field behind him. He's got track position. Now we'll find out what he's got, what it takes to take the lead, as James Thurston holds it with 29 laps remaining. The green flag will fly as we get it restarted here in Pocono. Thurston leads, Max Molina not too far behind. And our race, some beating and banging it almost looked to be with Joey Stone and the number 45 Alex Jones. Both drivers going to be rushing by the straightaway at the same time. And now Max Molina and James Thurston going back and forth up and down the track, already playing some risky games, knowing what's at stake. Race win just ahead of them. They've made it this far. Why not go all the distance and do it with a bit of flair? Molina's got the bottom side, and it looks like James Thurston's got top again. So shades of the very start of this race, as James Thurston works high, Max Molina chooses to go right down low, and it's going to be side by side at the stripe. Advantage James Thurston. Thurston leads. Max Molina there stays in 2nd, and Andrew Cootie holds his own in 3rd. Podium remains the same as they'll come by once again with 28 laps to go. As it stands, the drivers of these, of course, Cup Series machines have been working as hard as they can, and the drivers, of course, now going to work it once again through the straightaway, swerving back and forth. And for James Thurston, he's got that lead. Let's take a look on board. And James Thurston retains that advantage here with Max Molina working, but it looks like Andrew Cootie made it right by, and all of a sudden the number 9 machine is out in front, and that Napa Know-How machine got it through once again. Andrew Cootie not done fighting, and the number 4 machine gonna have to slip back a bit more. Max Molina there 3rd, Joey Stone in 4th, and now Kenny Reel in 5th. The top 5 looking much different tonight, and all of a sudden drivers like Stone and Reel, who were struggling earlier in the going, are now exactly where they need to be, and they're in prime position to make something happen. They're now just behind the leaders, and now the track position being such an advantage could give them a chance. And with the rate, of course, these drivers are getting more aggressive. It could be now or never. Drivers, of course, such as Thurston, Cootie, and Max Molina rubbing that wall time after time. They have been oh so close to the wall every lap around, and now with 26 laps to go, the question is who will push that limit even further. The leaders have not yet caused any incidents so far, save for Ethan Workman saving it and then bringing out the yellow overall. And overall, of course, indeed, these drivers up in front have been cleaner, but that's been a given all throughout the season. And now with 26 laps to go, the question really becomes, does aggression become more advanced as the remaining laps play out? Joey Stone has not been up in front all night long. The driver, this number 8 machine, has been to the back of the field for a good majority of it, and now finds himself in the prime position to chase down the top spots. Stone was back outside of the top 15, but as we mentioned, he likes not to qualify and let the race play out, trying to use it as a sort of learning tool to make it to the field front runners, even if he does not have that position to start the night. Now he's going to be there in 4th, exactly where he needs to put himself if he wants to chase down the rest of the leaders. They're just ahead of him now, and with 25 laps remaining, James Thurston fades back a bit further and might be in the clutches of Joey Stone as Cootie and Molina work 1st and 2nd. Up and down, single file. Max Molina looks to go down to the bottom side. He'll take that move down low and look for the race lead all the same. Max Molina leads the way. He finds himself still dead even there with Andrew Cootie, and they will stay almost exactly the same timing and scoring, showing differences of only a few thousandths of a second, and nothing much will come of it. Now, 25 laps to go, going into 24. Andrew Cootie still has the edge off the back straightaway, but it is going to be Max Molina putting down that pressure and bringing James Thurston there with them. They'll go through Trenton once again. Turn 1, 3 wide with James Thurston right down low, and it looks like it'll be a 2-for-1 pass. James Thurston takes the lead and does it all over again with another big wiggle. Now it's a wreck. Max Molina spins. The number 45 is going to go all the way down to the bottom of the track, and the caution will fly with your former race leader involved, and all of a sudden, the leaders have gone a bit far. Max Molina from the front of the field gets caught up there with James Thurston, and the caution will fly with 24 laps remaining. Taking a look at this one once again, you will see Molina door bang with Andrew Cootie, Cootie contact with Thurston, and it's going to be a chain reaction that brings Max Molina now to the back of the field as he gets the worst of it here. Looks like the rest of the drivers get out a bit better than he does, and now Molina gonna fade to the back here with 23 laps remaining. How about this for Max Molina? Been such a good run all night long, and now gonna have a lot of trouble making it back up from the rear of the field up to the front. He's scored now in 13th. Michael Cormetis going to be off the track. Looks like he pulled it off for the night, and Jacob Wilkerson 4 laps down is back on the way, so maybe there's a chance now for Wilkerson. For Cormetis, not so much. All of a sudden, it's going to be a major change up at the front of the field. Max Molina fades back big, but doesn't have big damage, so maybe he can recover. But overall, it's going to be even trickier now as every driver is pushing 110%, especially now up in front, taking it 3 ways, 3 wide, all throughout. All of a sudden, now we're back to square one. David Bell and chat, great to have you aboard live on FTN. 23 laps remaining here, and it's been good racing for the most part, but these yellow flags have brought us back to square one, back to ground zero, and hopefully we'll eventually get it through to the checkered flag. Mostly clean racing, but a few spotty yellows in the most recent laps to bring us back again. And now the question is, do we go for a longer run or keep it short and spotty in one of the longest races this season? Originally scheduled to be 250 miles, it was shortened down to only a total of 200, as it looks like driver participation has slightly changed as the season's gone on. Now, time for what looks to be the money stop with James Thurston and Joey Stone going in. They're going to come in first and second out in front, and now it's time to get pit road active all over again. Henry Kaloff opts to stay out on the track. Rest of your field is down and in. Now the question is, who's got what it takes? Kaloff going to be out in front, the only driver choosing to stay there, and we're going to see the pit exit camera in a moment's notice as Kaloff disappears from the view. Now the question is, who will make it out in front out of pit road? Kaloff fades from the view, and Andrew Coody's going to be almost off of his pit stall, but Joey Stone is quick, and at the line, James Thurston beats them all. It'll be Thurston, then Joey Stone, Kenny Reel, Justin Mons, and Michael Deitch to round out the top 5 off of pit road. Then from there, you'll see Alex Jones, Xander Prestige, and it looks like Joseph Lewis, as well as Hunter Bogdan. Leandro Tauro in chat, thank you for stopping by. Great to have you as well. It looks like chat getting a bit more active as the racing continues to go on, and things are getting dicey. I'll tell you this much, if you're sticking around to this point, stick around even longer. It's going to get that much better. James Thurston, who's already won multiple times this season, has put together some dominating performances. Tonight has not been the pure dominance of an average James Thurston win, but a win is a win no matter what. Doesn't matter how you slice it, taking a victory is still a very big deal, and right now for Thurston, it looks like he's looking for it regardless of how controlling it would be. It looks like he's got that advantage in track position, save for Henry Kaloff, and that's a great spot to be in overall, and it looks like right now the only driver in his way directly may be Joey Stone. Stone looked very quick on that run, the quickest he's been all night long. And as it stands, the driver of the number 4 maybe not working with as much competition as earlier. And as they come down to 21 laps to go, it's going to be Thurston down to the bottom. Henry Kaloff going to be leading, and Jacob Wilkerson flying by will come through to make sure everything's good on his end. It looks like Max Molina's going to be back on the way too. Molina's going to be back on the lead lap for Jacob Wilkerson, 2 laps down. Andrew Coody, 1 lap down. That's the way it's going to stand right now as Henry Kaloff leads the way up top, and he's got James Thurston now on his bottom side. 60 laps in, out of 80. We're going to have 19 laps to go to finish this one on FTN, and I'll tell you this much, since we usually crank it up with 22 laps to go, tonight, no opportunity. We were under yellow, 22 laps remaining, so we're going to do a bit of a consolation. Courtesy of TrackCams22.com and Track Cams for Gourmets, we're going to crank it up when we get this restart going and give you all the sounds of these NASCAR Next-Gens as they roar through Pocono Raceway. Fast track, and with these great camera angles, it's an even more immersive experience here on iRacing. And if you're a broadcaster or a photographer, anything of the sort on iRacing, this is the place to be for all your access to camera angles. Whatever you need, they have. Track Cams for Gourmets, TrackCams22.com. It's the place to go for all your camera services on the iRacing platform. 20 laps to go this time by, as a matter of fact. 21 to go. We are under yellow, and we will bring it back to green with only 20 flat. It's been a fantastic performance so far from all the leading drivers, every driver overall, and now they're looking to wrap it up and put together a great show till the end. Going to be now all down to Kaloff and Thurston up in front. Green flag set to fly with the iRacing official pace car leading them through this time by 21 laps remaining, and the pace car will drop in this time as we crank it up, courtesy of the best camera partners on iRacing. With 22 laps to go, said and done, came and went. Let's crank it up with 20 laps to go, courtesy of Track Cams for Gourmets. as you saw, caution will fly. Dustin Pickle in trouble, and we're back under yellow yet again with 17 laps remaining. Tonight has gone to the chaotic side, and Dustin Pickle gets involved with some three-wide racing, bringing out the yellow flag. All of a sudden, the number 21 going to be in some trouble, and it looks like the right side damage is major. Yellow flag flies once more, going to be the Tricky Triangle 200 back under caution with 17 laps remaining. Dustin Pickle going to be down and around, and it looks like from there, not quite sure if he can keep it going, as that's some major damage there on the right side. You'll see by this point he's already spun. Let's take it back 20 more seconds and analyze the situation in full. It looks like now the number 21 just gets it loose off the corner, comes up on Alex Jones, and that might be it, just getting a bit loose, and that's going to be the difference between keeping it straight and of course going all the way around and losing all that track position. Bad news for Dustin Pickle, and it's about the worst situation it can be for a driver, especially this late in the going. 65 laps in, Dustin Pickle now finds himself on pit road, and it's going to be a big time trouble if he's going to have any chance of getting back up there. Damage, of course, time on pit road, and he's already used a faster pair. Looks like despite the fact we weren't expected to have one tonight, he did use one, and now he's already going to be out of luck. No quick second chance for him now. 15 laps to go. Time is running out for any chance. Doesn't matter if you're leading the race or if you're the man last on the board. This is just about it. You got to make your moves, and they will matter the most now. 65 laps in out of a total of 80, and as it stands, 80 laps on the board, and this has been one of the longest races we've seen all season long, despite the fact, of course, it got shortened by 50 miles over the course of scheduling. It's going to be Henry Kaloff on his own, and on his own big time. The rest of the field comes into pit road once again. Every chance they get, every caution, you'll see them come back in even more. And just like that, Thurston leads a big group down to pit road yet again. Henry Kaloff, he chooses to stay out on the track once more, and that's the difference that he made last time to get that track position. It worked out well then. Now we'll see if it works out well again. Looking at pit road exit camera once more, you'll see Thurston, Molina, Ethan Workman, Justin Mons, and all the drivers who have been up in front all night long trying to race each other off, and it looks like with the advantage it will be for the driver of the number 49. Justin Mons beats off Michael Deitch, Kenny Reel, Ethan Workman, Max Molina, Xander Prestige, Joey Stone, Hunter Bogdan, and Joseph Lewis, leaving James Thurston now in 11th, Andrew Cootie in 13th, Jacob Wilkerson in 14th. This is a huge shift in the field, and now some front runners and contenders have faded back big. All of a sudden, it's a huge difference as it's Henry Kaloff leading and Justin Mons now in second. And when most of the pack coming to pit road there, it was not expected to be such a big difference with the order coming out. But it looks like instead of course, keeping the same old, the drivers have shifted it up just a bit, and it's going to be a bit more tricky as a result to see who goes where as the night slowly but surely comes to a close. The Tricky Triangle 200 has given us no shortage of action, giving us a bit more and more as the race has gotten later on. And now the question truly becomes, can these drivers muster up anything more before the race is over? Deitch, Mons, Kenny Reel, this is a big move in terms of strategy. And even Ethan Workman now back inside the top 5. This could be a difference between getting an outside the top 10 finish or a top 5 chance. Maybe even a podium or a first time win. This could be the biggest decision these drivers have made all race long, and it's going to come here and now with 14 laps to go. 67 in, out of 80, coming to lap number 68 for the racing to keep on going. And only 2 retirees in Ross Corlett and Michael Cormenis. Dustin Pickle is 2 laps down. Jacob Wilkerson is the final man on the lead lap, which leaves us with a total of 14. And the final sprint ahead is still moments away from getting going. It's going to be the driver of the number 63, Henry Kaloff, making the big gamble to stay out in front. And it's going to be Kaloff right ahead of, well, Justin Mons, then Michael Deitch, and Kenny Reel in fourth, then Ethan Workman in fifth to round out that top five. And if you got a favorite driver, let him know. For Slinky, the Grand Ginger, coming in as well. Not happy at all about Dustin Pickle's situation. And 2 laps down with 14 left is a near-death sentence when it comes to getting a race win. So this is going to be troublesome for Dustin Pickle. I'm not quite sure what he can pick up. If he wants anything more out of this race, he'd need a miracle. 14 laps to do it. Going to come to a baker's dozen next time by. And as they come through Indianapolis once more, it's going to be all about this restart. With so many drivers inexperienced with being the leaders here at Pocono, I wouldn't be surprised if we got another. But at this rate, you really want to keep avoiding these yellow flags and make it to the end in one piece. It's going to be some inexperience up in front. Henry Kaloff continuing the alternative strategy. He's there in the lead, and they'll come through this time by. It's going to be all up to the 63 of Kaloff, right there with Justin Mons. Restart yet again with 13 laps to go. Let's get right back at it. The green flag's out, led by Henry Kaloff. And Kaloff going to be able to take a major lead there with the rest of the field chasing. You can see Justin Mons going to be further on back. Michael Deitch there too. So it looks like it's going to be Kaloff with some experience up in front, pulling away very quickly here. Rest of the pack going to have to adapt and adapt fast. All of a sudden, it's going to be on the chopping block. Guys like Deitch, as Molina comes through, and Max is going to lead a bunch of experienced drivers up in front, all the way to the top. Side by side, it's going to be 3 wide, and a matter of fact, Kenny Reel, Michael Deitch, Ethan Workman taking it 3, and they're going to stay there as James Thurston looks to split the middle and take it 4 wide. James Thurston goes 4 abreast, makes 3 passes on it, and looks to get even more out of it as he goes down to the bottom on Joey Stone, and Michael Deitch is right there too. My oh my for James Thurston to make it through that. Unbelievable, threading the needle and then some, and now Thurston's got a shot as he blocks Joey Stone deep and gets taken 3 once again. And Thurston showing up when it matters. That is a move that's going to be remembered for the rest of this race, and I think the rest of the season. 4 wide at Pocono, a big risk, and he's been 3 wide for almost a full lap, trying to fend off Joey Stone. Stone is still there. He will not have it, and when it doesn't do it, he's still got big competition. Michael Deitch faring very well in 4th, and he's going to stay side by side with Stone as they'll come off the line once again, shaking back and forth, weaving and bobbing through the corner. 69 laps in. It's been a nice run for Henry Kaloff as he leads them to 70. David Bell in the chat rooting for James Thurston here, and Kaloff, the underdog, looking to make it his first win. Taking a look at the rear bumper there in the 63 of Henry Kaloff, and you'll see it clear as day. This is the front end, of course, but taking a look at the back, you see the numbers are going to be the number 63 for Underdog Racing server, the Discord server, of course, and live updates for All American Racing. It's, of course, size and numbers growing the brand as it continues to expand. And for Kaloff, getting a win for his overall brand and team would be major. Getting it done tonight, it could be now major possibility with 11 laps remaining. Henry Kaloff leads the way and will take him down to the stripe all over again with now only a total of 10 laps remaining. This is the final stretch for Henry Kaloff as he looks to get it done. Max Molina then going to be second with Justin Mons third, and James Thurston trying to work his way through. Just got by Mons, now looking to get by Max Molina. This is the battle for second here, and they're going to be side by side off the corner yet again. And now James Thurston's going to have to work with not only Justin Mons, but Max Molina if they want to make anything of it. No, Justin Mons gets turned. Mons goes around and gets sent off the quarter panel of James Thurston. Yellow flag flies yet again, and it looks like the number 49 is going to be sent out of the leader's vicinity all the way out. And just like that, the caution will fly yet again. Justin Mons got sent off of James Thurston's quarter panel. Let's take a look look back and find out just why this happened as we take an immediate instant replay on the matter at hand. You will see Justin Mon's going to be right there. He's got James Thurston beside him and tries to make a move, bumps Molina, bumps him twice, and thinks he's clear and is not at all. That's going to end Mons' chances at a win. Front end damage, that's major, nobody else involved, and with 9 laps to go, it's another tricky situation to be in, and the tricky Triangle 200 might have just claimed another victim. Justin Mons able to get it back on the way, but as it stands, going to be scored in the 14th position, getting back to the field as we speak. And Henry Kaloff, with 9 laps remaining, leads the way so far, and it's been almost 2 hours of action-packed racing. Kaloff has been able to keep it very laps. He still has a chance to make it happen for his first career victory. Looks like right now it could be the night. 9 laps to go, coming down into 8th. And it is going to come down to whether or not the tires still have enough life in them. And it could be Max Molina, it could be James Thurston. They will go all the distance if they want to win. And it looks like right now that will be their plan as they go through this time by. A bit of a blip on the timing and scoring system there, and is 9 laps remaining. And as it stands, it looks like we're going to have to take a brief FTN break as something just happened, and we are not quite sure why. We'll be right back with a brief FTN promotional break as we fix what's going on behind the scenes.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And as we come back with a final restart just ahead of us here on FTN, it's going to be Pocono Raceway giving us just a few more laps of action-packed racing. We got back before the yellow flag was over. Thankfully, it was a very small issue, and we should be good to go all the way till the end. All is well. We're back on the move, and we can't wait to get the finish on the way. Pace car going to be coming through this time by, it's going to be James Thurston, Henry Kaloff, both in connection as they get to it once again. It's going to be a total of now only 7 laps, going to 6 laps to go. Let's get to it once again, led by Henry Kaloff. James Thurston going to be able to lead the way fiercely into corner number 1. Not too far behind, you got Kaloff there, and Joey Stone now in third. They're going to bang doors just a bit, but keep it straight all the way. Now as they come through for the final stretch, 6 laps to go, it's going to be all about James Thurston taking that big lead. Nice step up in front. Henry Kaloff going to be then in second with Maximilian third, and Joey Stone is fourth as they keep it single file with Ethan Workman not too far behind, and even Michael Deitch too. Deitch having a very good run as they go through turn 3 once again. It's going to be James Thurston holding his own and making it through 75 laps in. Now coming to 76, they'll wiggle once again, and it looks like it's going to be Kaloff and Maximiliana going at it once more. Taking a look, the 5 lap to go. The caution will fly once again. Looks to be this time for both Kenny Real and Xander Prestige. So just like that, some trouble back in the air. Let's find out just what happened live on FTN and take a look at what just happened. Finally got our replay transitions back. That was one of the issues plaguing us all night long. Now that's out of the way. Caution's back out. We're going to overtime, and Real making contact with Prestige, then making contact immediately after with Justin Mons. Another chain reaction, and Pocono's giving these drivers so much trouble tonight. One of the most wreck-filled races all season long, which has been an unfortunate thing to say. We've had a very clean racing to this point, but all of a sudden, things are falling apart tonight. But now we've only got a few more laps remaining. Clean racing, we saw it early, but when one caution comes through, it lays down the first domino that will be put into motion, which eventually brings us to that final moment. James Thurston, 77 laps in, leads the way. 5 laps to go, coming to 4. He's got such a small amount of time, such a short amount of laps to get through to make this win happen. And it looks like right now his only competition would be Kaloff, Molina, and Joey Stone. Outside chance for Workman, Deitch, and Wilkerson. But right now, track position, it is king. And Thurston knows that. And it looks like right now, David Bell, who's been in the chat, of course, his fan favorite driver, the number 4, finds himself out in front as we have some trouble. I heard some tires working back and forth, and that it will be. Xander Prestige in trouble immediately after we get back to the yellow. We'll take it back 10 seconds and see why that's the case. I think he got put inside the wall, and there were multiple drivers on the wall. Kenny Real and Michael Deitch have some trouble, and it's another full-on wreck, but this time under the caution. Another huge incident, and the caution flies again. Let's take a look back and find out what happened here. As you look through, Michael Deitch going to be there. It looks like Kenny Real was, and Real comes full on in with speed side by side, and it looks like he will come in on Workman, and he's going to stay behind, make some contact, go 3, and then get hooked. Back and forth, some tempers flare, and that's going to destroy Xander Prestige. And just like that, it's another chain reaction under yellow. Drivers getting involved with each other side by side. It looks like it gets a bit too antsy, and all of a sudden, Pocono bringing out some very, very emotionally charged drivers, and I think it's continuing here in the back. Ethan Workman, Kenny Real. It looks like these 3 drivers are being sent down a pit road, most likely for damage repair, but maybe something else in mind is another incident. Gonna see drivers coming through. James Thurston leads the way with Henry Kaloff then second, Maximiliana third, and Joey Stone in fourth. 3 laps remaining, and it is an overtime finish on FTN, and we're gonna break it down to you how that works in case you aren't aware. This is how it's gonna go down. Thurston leading, Kaloff in second. They will have 2 laps to complete this race. The way it's going to go, if we get to the white flag, the race will be official, checkers or wreckers. The white flag indicates the race will no longer be extended under any circumstance, and we will head back to the checkered flag no matter what, no matter how, no matter why. The race will be over, and that will be that. However, in the case we end up getting a bit further past the restart zone, then get a caution before the white flag, then we can throw it back again. Then we can have ourselves another restart, and that will be for 3 attempts worth. Only 3 opportunities to do that, and in case we don't have any other issues, then we get to the end after this attempt. This is set to be the first attempt of the night, and it will be with 3 laps to go. James Thurston leading, Henry Kaloff second, Max Molina third. Drivers opting not to go down a pit road this time by staying on the same strategy as it was, coming down about 10 odd laps ago and hoping to go from there, as Kenny Reel is just disconnected from the session, and it looks like his night will be over after sustained damages from the Ethan Workman and the incident with Xander Prestige as well. It looks like the incident under yellow is a bit more important in his case than the incident we saw under green. That's what takes him out overall, and the chance for him to come through with any good finish is all but ruined. Now he'll be finishing in effectively 14th if Xander Prestige gets back on the track. If not, it'll be 13th, as it's time for a green-white checkered finish. Looks like the race will not be extended, and we're getting back going with 2 laps to go. This will be a 1-lap shootout. Looks like green-white checkers are not enabled, and it's a different procedure tonight yet again. This is the one exception. Looks like this was not prepared. It's a white flag shootout. 1 lap. The race will be official no matter what. This is the distance, and nothing going to be extended on our ends, indicating there's an 81st lap. 80th will be final. We're now at lap 79. So this will be the final lap no matter what, green flag or otherwise. James Thurston, Henry Kaloff, and all of the drivers have 1 chance. This is it, and there will be no other second chance. Looks like a restart is not going to be given. 1 lap shootout. White flag will be all, and the question now remains in the minds of drivers. We've seen aggression. We've seen some consistent runs. We've seen everything in between. Now, nothing matters besides his final lap. The restart's going to matter the most, if anything. Can Kaloff get that drive off with James Thurston and try to break into turns 1 and 2, Trenton and Indianapolis, at the same pace? Can someone say, outside of that area, say Max Molina, Joey Stone, even Jacob Wilkerson now back in the fray? Wilkerson was 4 laps down. He's gotten them all back using the lucky dog procedure. He's there now, and despite damage early, he's inside the top 5 and has a chance to come through, maybe with a race win. They're all here, all now, and this is when it matters. White flag will fly, this time by white and yellow. It's going to go to the green as we have 1 more lap of racing here in the Pocono Raceway. The Tricky Triangle 200 comes down to 1 more lap. The white flag flies. This race is official, and this is it. A 1-lap shootout. We're already underway. And there's wrecking already. Max Molina goes around. No caution going to fly for it. Molina's already going to be out of contention. And now it's going to be James Thurston up in front, cruising ahead as they're beating and banging all the way behind. Henry Kaloff's going to be in second here with Joey Stone third. 1, 2, 3 with a 1 lap to go. And you're going to see now Stone work his way all the way down to the bottom. James Thurston keeps that lead, and he's got a huge distance ahead of the red of the field. Now it's going to be Thurston cruising again through turn 3 all the way into Milwaukee. Last time he went to Victory Lane, it was the Milwaukee Mile, but now as he goes through the Milwaukee Mile expired corner and makes it to the straightaway here in Long Pond, a winner again. James Thurston takes his 3rd win and his 2nd in a row, getting it done on the Tricky Triangle 200, mastering the Tricky Triangle. James Thurston wins at Pocono for his 3rd of the season. Henry Kaloff comes through 2nd, and Andrew Cootie comes through 3rd. Let's take a quick look at your results before everything comes into play. Thurston is flying through his cool down lap and already getting the drifting going. It's going to be James Thurston winning over Henry Caloff in second, Andrew Cootie then third, with Joey Stone 17th to 4th, hard charger on the night. Then going to be Hunter Bogdan in 5th with his all-time best finish, and Justin Mon 6th with Workman 7th, Michael Deitch then 8th, and Dustin Pickle in 9th. Going to be Joseph Lewis from there in the 10th spot, and Jacob Wilkerson in 11th, with Max Molina fading back to 12th, Xander Prestige 3 laps down in 13th, with Alex Jones 14th, Michael Cormetis 15th, Ross Corlett 16th, and Kenny Real 17th, as Bryce Hamrick and Joaquin Stewart, your race control, round out the 19 driver field, and Thurston begins to burn it down. And burning it down, James Thurston gonna get it back on the move. The number 4 machine looking to put it back to the start and finish line. And on victory lane, another win for Thurston. He's been very good this season, but it looks like now coming into his own even further. Already gonna disconnect from the track, and we'll be back after a brief promotional message courtesy of iRacing Motorsport Simulation, as we'll get your top 3 interviews momentarily. Thank y'all for your support, and we'll be right back in just a moment. And after an electric race here at the Pocono Raceway, James Thurston comes through as a winner again, and he's been on fire, especially as of late. Getting it done, of course, Milwaukee and New Hampshire, but the big tracks have eluded him all season long. But now, tonight, it looks like he's been able to finally break through and make it happen. So with that in mind, Thurston getting it done, and in a one-lap shootout, the first and only of the season, a white flag dash gives James Thurston the chance to go for his 3rd win of the season. How about this one tonight in Pocono Raceway? Tricky Triangle lived up to its name. How do you feel about this race?
Well, I'll just say that I'm a little bit sick right now, so it might not sound the greatest, but yeah, that's the way that these overtime-ish finishes should be. There should only be enough laps to finish the races that was already set to be run. I know it wasn't supposed to be set up like that, but yeah, that's the way it played out, and just I don't know how I came back to win this one, but yeah.
It was a big comeback performance there, up and down throughout the field. You saw yourself, of course, off the racing surface, causing a caution in the midway point, but from there you were able to recover, get your bearings back in, and eventually make that charge up to the front. So how was it working from the back up to the front to compete with the best of them all over again?
Yeah, I got spun around there, going into the tunnel turn. I don't know what the point of that side draft was there by Workman, but yeah, he decided to side draft me there, and you can't really do that. Looking at it now, he didn't even really side draft me. He just ran into my left rear wheel well, and he just turned me. But yeah, that was just a minor setback. We fought through the field and came back up to the 2nd place that next run. Or actually, was it that run? I don't know if it was that run that we came back up to 2nd, or if it was the run where I got EOL'd for no reason. But yeah, I had to fight through a lot there.
And it was a very, very rough effort getting up there till the end, and some strategy all throughout the race. Seems like every caution we had, everyone came down pit road time and time again, so most drivers on the same strategy, but having to use pit road to your advantage was some trouble. We saw you fade back even outside the top 10 very close to the end there, so pit road was never a sure thing. How was it for you handling that and using it to your advantage eventually to get that track position or final lap shootout?
Yeah, the reason we were in the pit so long the last stop is because I was repairing the damage just to make sure it wouldn't hold us back. But yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, we came back and won the race. So just thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports, and yeah, I don't know why I got EOL'd. I still don't know why I got EOL'd. I got to look at that. I really don't think I should have. But yeah, just great to win.
And back again in victory lane, James Thurston next up on the schedule, Atlanta. Before we head there, anything else you'd like to add? Moving on to, I believe, the SuperSpeedway configuration.
Demolish that track. I hate it.
But there we have it. James Thurston keeping it brief, but back on the move. Thurston gets it done. You'd like to thank your sponsors?
Yeah, thanks to Power Smash Infinity Speed Motorsports for the fast car. And yeah, we'll try not to get taken out of that horrendous configuration of a great racetrack.
And there we have it. James Thurston gets it done. The driver of the number 4 machine comes through, and the checkered flag, he takes it yet again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
There we have it. James Thurston going to be back on the move. Henry Kaloff comes through second, and one of the closest efforts he's had to a win all season long, breaking through to the podium yet again. How was it tonight in the Tricky Triangle?
Man, P2 just feels like a win. Going this race, I thought, top 5 was capable, but, I decided to stay out there, and it paid off. So, great run for the 63 ALL Construction Inc. Chevrolet, and wow.
Still able to get a great run all throughout, and some different strategy for you. Unlike most drivers, you took it a little different and decided to go a bit longer there with your pit road strategy to make it till the end, and it looked like it still worked. Tires held on, and all in all, you made it through till the conclusion of the race. So how was it using that different strategy to keep track position and keep yourself up in front?
Under caution, I was just saving as much fuel as I can, hitting the clutch and shutting off the engine, and I probably had an extra 8 laps of fuel there, and the tires, I don't really know if there was any sort of tire fall off. It's just we never got into a huge green flag run, and that's kind of why.
And with, of course, no green flag runs till the end, it became very easy to hold on to position, and you did it as well as anyone, getting it done for a top 2 podium finish yet again, bringing that momentum back before we head to Atlanta. What's it going to be like to go from here and maybe put another good run in at a very fast track?
Atlanta, I feel like, I can definitely win there. The Series races have always been my kind of track to run on, but I'm either going to wreck going for the win or I'm going to win, so we'll see how it goes.
There we have it. Henry Kaloff looking for the victory once again at second place. Another great points night as he moves on for another chance at the win. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Kaloff going to be on the move with one final driver on the podium steps tonight, and that would be, of course, Andrew Cootie. Cootie comes through, gets it done in third, and rounds out the podium in a chaotic race at Pocono. How do you feel tonight?
Mad. I should be winning, or I should have won that race. I was, oh my God. I'm not going to badmouth because I'm, part of the league as a somewhat staff member, but we had inconsistency problems when it came to the choose cone, and when I had gotten shoved to the back, it's not on Joey because he had called it out, and that's fine. I'm not mad about that because it's not his thing. It's not on him to do that. It's anyone will do that. But Justin, one of his buddies, and I consider him a buddy of mine, he had done the exact same thing, and Bryce didn't call it. And I was like, okay, so that'll be fine. And Joaquin, he's back and forth. That's fine. He's got things he's doing in his personal part and changing settings maybe or whatever. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that ever. I don't. Because that's what you do. You have problems. I've race controlled in leagues, and I've done that, and it's I
And Cootie cutting out a bit on our end, so I'm not quite sure if you're still going. Anything else in regards to the race you'd like to add? And it looks like on our end, losing Andrew Cootie here. Not sure if he's still got a copy. Andrew, you got anything for us? And it looks like drawing a blank right now with Andrew Cootie not giving us some feedback or any signal. We're still in the broadcast channel with him, so we'll try to move out and get right back in. One more time, Andrew Cootie, you got us?
Yeah, I'm here.
Looking for a moment there. We lost a bit of signal. Anything else you have for us?
No, I'm just frustrated. It's fine. Thanks to CCH, to Ross and Bryce, and thanks to Joaquin for putting on the race, even though it was kind of late. It was a long race. That was tiring. My mic might be messed up. I've been having a little bit of problems, so if it cuts in and out, let me know. But thank you to everyone. Thank you to my fiance for everything. And dang it, I'm frustrated with. I'm happy for P3 because it's better than where I was, but I should have had the win there. I'm frustrated with that, but we'll go on to Atlanta, and that's going to be an absolute crapshoot. So we'll go on to Atlanta and hopefully get a win there. There's nothing I can do. So.
And Andrew Cootie looking to move on to the next one here with Atlanta just ahead. Third place tonight. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Kreitz. Appreciate it.
And we're going to take two more interviews with a few drivers still taking some requests here. We're going to go in position order, so we'll get Michael Deitch and then Kenny Reel. Two more interviews on the way. Let's get one more request. And Michael Deitch, the number 57, 8th place on the day. How do you feel?
Just I'm happy with the result. I don't know. Just people are not driving with their heads on a swivel because I got caught up in that Kenny Reel nonsense. And, he was mad at the 23, but, you saw the chain reaction there. And the one car just came out of nowhere, hit me in the rear end, and it busted my toe lane. So it's a miracle that I still finished good. But, I'll take it.
And still able to hold on despite that damage. A lot of frustrated drivers tonight. So either way, only a one-lap shootout. Able to hold on to some position. How was it for you to manage the remainder of the race, of course, heading into that point?
Well, given that I was racing on a controller, the car just veered to the right, so I had to hold my wheel to the left, and that was a whole adventure. My cornering was just bad. I'm not gonna lie, it was just bad. I kept getting super wide. So I guess I was fortunate that a bunch of guys were spinning in front of me, and that's how I was able to capitalize on it.
Able to capitalize late, getting those positions right back and recovering for a top 10. Next up on the schedule, we're going to have ourselves a race at Atlanta, the SuperSpeedway configuration, another very intense track in its own right. So what's it going to take to adapt there and maybe go for another solid finish?
Stay out of trouble. Just stay out of the ruts. That's all there is to it. It's like any other super speedway. Just stay out of the crashes. Or if they do crash, make sure you're behind it.
And looking to keep avoiding that wrecks that we've seen. And looks like Michael Deitch still able to hold on for a solid finish tonight in the tricky Triangle 200. It's going to be position number 8 at the end of the day. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you. And thanks to my primary sponsor, University of Akron Marching Band. My first halftime show is this Saturday, so we're definitely excited for that. And we'll get them in next week in Atlanta, and can't wait to start the IORA season tomorrow.
And looking to get back on the move with IORA as well, Michael Deitch, thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
Deitch going to be our second to last driver we're going to bring in here, the final of which, Kenny Reel, with last request of the day. We're going to get the Kenny Reel number 11 team through, 13th on the night, not able to make it to the end here, but some troubles late. So how was it managing the track, of course, until that point?
I mean, it was for a while, I mean, it was all right. That one caution we had that was in the very back, it was pretty good racing, and then that restart was really fun. Actually, there was like 10 of us just actually battling hard up there for like 5-6 laps, and that was actually really fun. We had good hard racing. Everyone was, giving each other enough, a little bit of room, and it was fun. And then the second to last caution, I come out of turn one, and somebody overdrives the corner and ruins my whole race. So it just frustrations just boiled over. So I went back on the backstretch and tried dooring him a few times and ended up getting spun and hit by Xander because Xander just got shoved up by Cootie right in front of me, and I tried to dip it down low and he came down a little bit and I hit his quarter panel. So he was probably a little bit mad at that because he was already mad at Cootie for bumping him out of the way. So it was fun. I could have had a top 5 easily, but I get DQ'd at the end.
And not able to make it to the end tonight, but still looking ahead at Atlanta. What's it going to take to rebound from here and, of course, make it happen on another very chaotic track?
Just race, I guess, as aggressive as everybody else. Just stop giving people respect on the track. I guess that's what I got to do.
And it looks like taking it with a different mindset for the rest of this season here. Kenny Reel not able to make it to the end. Is there anyone else you'd like to thank before we head on to our next race?
Just shout out you for the broadcast. Shout out Croots Motorsports. Shout out Bowie Esports and just everybody watching at home. Appreciate all the admins and everybody that puts this together.
There we have it. Kenny Reel, the number 11 machine, not able to come home, finishes in the 13th spot tonight from Pocono. Thank you for your time.
Here's up, brother.
And with Kenny Reel back on the move, the number 11 machine not able to make it to the finish, but either way, going to be one of the drivers, one of the many who does not come home from this one as a happy driver. A lot of drivers not happy, and it looks like it's going to show, and Atlanta is going to be something to remember. With some chaos in mind, once again, it is, of course, your top 3 as follows. Andrew Cootie, 3rd, Henry Galoff, 2nd, and finally, James Thurston getting it done in the number 4 machine, and our presentation of the FORL Cup Series Tricky Triangle 200. Tonight went a bit longer than usual, so we're going to wrap it up a bit quick for those still watching. First off, greatly appreciate your support, and if you did enjoy tonight's presentation of the FORL Cup Series, be sure to leave a like on the channel and subscribe. We thank you all watching live on FTN from our studios to your homes. We hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation, and if you did, once again, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support is always greatly appreciated. We thank you for your time watching, whether it was for a minute or for the entirety of this race, and we hope to see you again as viewers whenever we're live again on FTN. We thank you all for your sincere support all of our time broadcasting here on YouTube, and we hope that you have a great night.